the voter registration organizer with Mi Familia Vota Nevada. So in an effort to educate the community, Mi Familia Vota is introducing a candidate running for the school board trustee. This is not an endorsement. We do want to remind everyone, Mi Familia Vota has extended this invitation to all candidates. And as y'all know, public schools are ran, as the name implies, by the public. So voters get to decide who represents their best interests and in public education. So without further ado, I would like to recommend to sorry to invite y'all with Lisa Guzman, who's running for candidate for CCSD trustee in District A, and I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Lisa Guzman, and I do live in the town of Henderson, and I am running for District A. I chose to run for the board based on information and attending school board meetings and finding out exactly what is needed for Clark County School District. My background is in English as a second language. I was an educator in Arizona, and I moved to Nevada to fill the role of Assistant Executive Director for the Nevada State Education Association.
Perfect. Thank you so much for introducing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, do you mind going over a little bit of what the role of a CCSD trustee is?
Sure. So trustee, it has the role of making sure that policies are followed and that they pass policies, that the school district is run effectively. Their only employee is the superintendent. And the school board is held accountable by the community. So, and they are the ones that approve the budgets that are the budget that is utilized for the school district. So for example, in the last month, the district, the school board passed the budget for the next academic year, just based on the information that they had.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Um, so what motivated you to want to be a CCSD trustee?
So it's a great question. My motivation came from working with the staff and the students in Clark County School District. So when I started in Las Vegas, I was working with the unions that are the teachers union and the support professionals union. And I was able to go into the classrooms and meet with students and actually get to see what was happening in the classrooms. And the more I was involved, the more I knew that there needed to be someone on the board that had my background. Because in order for me to make a difference in the lives of the support professionals, the teachers, and specifically the students, I felt like when the District A seat came up, if not me, then who? And so that's why I decided to run.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that as well. So let's just take a quick recap of what a school trustee does. So school board trustees are the members of the district school board. They are locally elected representatives of the public and serve as community's advocate for public education. School trustees have the power to shape our education. They determine the quality of the buildings students spend their days in. They select the textbook your child reads and the online programs students log countless hours on. They access safety procedures during emergencies and choose the bus company that ferries students home. They also are where the buck stops. They decide whether or not the superintendent is doing his job as well. Um, so Miss Lisa, why do you feel you're the most qualified for this position?
That's a great question. And it completely has to do with my educational background. So I started my career as a para educator and worked my way through college and became a teacher. I am a third generation teacher, so I have disappointed two generations by becoming a teacher. They deliberately tried to guide me in a different direction. And now my youngest son will be a teacher, which I'm extremely proud of because he's following in my footsteps as an English as a second language teacher. Um, and then from there, I started advocating politically for education, and then started working for my state affiliate. And I started working in instruction and professional development and advocating for what was needed to assist the students within the classroom, and also for the staff to continue their education to improve the education of the students. From there, I started, I went to work for the National Education Association member benefits, and I traveled to each state to see what was happening with their education. And I even was here in Nevada for a while. And then the position of assistant executive director came up, and it was, I was encouraged to apply. And when I did, and I came to Nevada, I did an assessment of the educational needs of both the educators and of the students based on my background. And I was able to start the instruction and professional development department in the Nevada State Education Association. During that entire time, I have learned to read multiple budgets for different districts to see where the money is going, to assist districts in funneling money towards instruction and professional development, but also so that when 2008, 2009 came and there were cuts, that it would stay as far away from the students, which means less cuts to the teachers and the support professionals who actually affect those students. Then it went more towards the central office then, so that the students were able to get the education that they needed. And especially now with COVID, I feel like I really have the background to assist the district in taking a look at the budget and seeing where the cuts really truly need to be made.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
So due to the current crisis, CSD transitioned to distance learning, and some schools have not been able to reach students, especially high school students that are homeless. The community is concerned that students will not be prepared for the academic demands of the next coming school years. How would you address this challenge as a school trustee?
So I feel like some of the comments and suggestions that I've made in my current role have assisted. It was late for Clark County School District, but they put in the Wi-Fi buses. And originally they thought that there were only going to be 13 buses, and now they're up to 28. Those are really important. And then also to make sure that the students actually have a Chromebook. I know that it's really difficult for students to find a place to sit and actually do the curriculum when they're homeless, but I feel like if they find an area or a bus that's close to them, the bus driver will assist them in finding a way to sit down and do the curriculum. Something that we're all going to struggle with, because just finding out a good place, a safe place for the kids to do the curriculum through distance learning is something that we really need to actually go out and look at and spend the time finding out how to reach them. This is not something that you can just sit behind a desk and decide. It's something that you have to actually go out and experience. I did this when the food service workers had to stay and distribute the food to the folks when COVID first started, and I wanted to make sure that they were not just making sure that our kids got the food, but that they were also safe. there's a two-way on that. And so I just feel like finding out where the kids are and trying to assist them, and being there and seeing it and then bringing that back to report out to the trustees it's really important.
Yes, thank you. That is very important. So if it's okay with you, I would like to talk a little bit more about District A.
Mhm.
So, what is currently the biggest issue in District A? And if elected, how do you plan on addressing this issue?
So there are lots of interesting issues in District A. There isn't one that just like stands out. One of the things that is really concerning for me, because I recently took a poll to find out what District A constituents knew, and my heart is with community schools, because community schools have wraparound services and can assist kids. And in District A, they are not very well aware of community schools. And in fact, we only have one. They do like magnet schools, and magnet schools are really fantastic. And I would like to see how we could expand that program for for the students in District A. And then also just knowing that they have my voice legislatively, so that I can help them out. One of my concerns was when I was traveling through District A. I used to live by Basic High School, and now I live by Foothills. It's not very far apart. I just like that area because it's comfortable for me. And I thought that the educators at Basic High School were phenomenal, and they're considered a 3-star school. But it's the same at Foothills. They're also considered a 3-star school, and I think those educators are great too, and the students are wonderful. But my neighbor is getting ready to send their child to high school, and she's concerned because her child is supposed to go to basic. There's no real difference except the perception of the community. And that's where I really feel we're challenged. If they're exactly the same, why is my neighbor concerned to sending her child to basic high school? You know? So I just feel she would prefer to send them to Foothills. And I don't see a difference. The kids are the same, the education is the same. And so that to me is a concern.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Um, so another question that I think is very important for us to go over is what is your plan to get more parents involved in CCSC?
That's a really great question, because I feel that there are a lot of parents that are involved in some of the schools that I would represent, but that we need more parent involvement in schools like basic high school or the elementary schools near basic. But the thing is that we have to make the school inviting to them, right? So in order to have parental involvement, they have to feel like they're wanted at the school. I have visited a few schools, and I would say that I wasn't the most inviting when I walked in, and I could see why the parents just drop their child off and leave. Another thing is having access. So a lot of the parents that live where I live work on the strip, and they work nights and weekends. And just being able to have access during the day to come in, or to just have a time when they can come in that's around their schedule. Not everyone's schedule is the same, but to just have something that is inviting for them, because kids love having their parents there. They really do.
Yes, and thank you so much for acknowledging that. I think that's also very important. Most parents sometimes work two jobs or have to take care of their other children, so it's a little bit harder for them to be more involved with the district. Um, so what is your vision for education in this community?
So my vision is to have more community involvement in the education of our students, and to make it so that when the staff and the parents come to speak to the trustees, that they feel that they are heard. That truly is my vision. I have been to too many school board meetings where I walk outside and the parents and community members are saying, well, she didn't even listen to us. She didn't even hear us. She didn't acknowledge us. And I feel like it's really important that if we are supposed to be a community and we're supposed to be public schools, which is something I'm extremely passionate about, that we are open and that we acknowledge parents and that we acknowledge community members who are also passionate about the Clark County School District.
Yes, thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, just a reminder to everyone, if I did forget to mention, but if anyone would like to ask any questions as well, feel free to comment them, and then we'll go ahead and get those. So I, working with the high schools, I've come across a lot of students who would like to start getting involved. So for them, would you be able to share some guidance or advice of how they can start being more involved?
Oh, absolutely. And even in my organization where I work, we do an internship program, and I would love to have them involved. So in the Nevada State Education Association, Loretta Harper was extremely active, and she used to have our the high school students come and volunteer at our delegate assembly just to see how the legislative process works. And she also would invite them in to our board meetings so that they could see how a board works, but that she also would pair them up with teachers and even me, the assistant exec, to find out what we did, right? And how we affected legislation when our government relations folks would go up to Carson City.
Oh, well, I think that's really awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And we did not stop. When Loretta passed away, we put together a scholarship and we continue to do the work. So we get contacted, and I just think that as a trustee, I would do the same thing. If a student wanted to know what a trustee did, I would invite them in and show them what my everyday looked like.
I will definitely have to get in touch with you about that.
Great.
Thank you so much. So thanks, Lisa, again. And for any closing remarks, is there anything else you would like the community to know about you?
So there are a lot of things I'd like them to know, but one of the most important things is that I am really dedicated to the community, and so is my husband and my children. Although my children have graduated from high school and have moved on, they are still very involved. And if they want to contact me, they can contact me through my website. It's lisaguzmanfortrustee.com. Did I lose you?
It looks like we might have lost Jasmine, Lisa.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties with the internet connection, but I just want to thank you for joining. And also, this will be available on YouTube. I'm going to share it to our Facebook so folks can watch the full interview. And we wish you the best luck on this race, and we look forward to working with you in the near future again.
That's great. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And I know that our organizations do work together, and I was really excited to do this interview.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye-bye.